Hello! Welcome to the Gut of a Mother. We're so excited you're here. My name is Ashley, and this is my amazing friend and business partner, Rachel. I've been so excited to introduce you guys to her. You're going to love her. She is one of my dearest friends. We've been friends for 20 plus years. We go way back, and she is a fierce mama. She has two amazing kiddos. She is married to her high school sweetheart. She's passionate about motherhood and health and her faith and our nation and just so many things. She's such a fierce mama, but she's fun as well. And you guys are just going to get to love her, and she's just a wealth of knowledge. And really, when I was thinking of the right person, that I was praying for the right person to come alongside in this movement and in this creation of this mission, really to have moms really have know their place as mothers and in their children's health and in their own personal health, right? And just thinking of the perfect person, I just couldn't think of anyone greater. So Rachel, we're so excited to have you with us, and I can't wait for everyone to get to know you and to hear more about your story. So,
Thank you.
anyways, okay. So, getting started, we wanted to just do a little introduction just so you guys can get to know a little bit about Rachel and her story. So, Rach, why don't you just tell us a little bit about you, about your sweet family, so people can just know you on a little more personal level, and then also just like taking us back to why the gut of a mother? Like, why does that message resonate with you, and where did that start for you?
Okay. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I am super excited. And like Ashley said, I'm super passionate about health and my children and the children of this nation. Um, and just really encouraging others to live healthier lives. Like, that's been something that I've been doing for 10 plus years. It's not something new for me. So I am, like Ashley said, married to my high school sweetheart. I have two babies, Earthside. I have one in heaven, and I absolutely adore my kids and motherhood. But like everyone, I'm learning, and some days are a struggle, and some days I feel like I'm winning. But so it's a fun journey, needless to say. But to take you back, it really all started with my dogs, funny enough. So before I had children, I had two dogs that towards the end of their life, they got sick. And I started doing like a ton of research, like how could I help my dog? She actually had valley fever. And I'm taking her to the vet all the time. They're prescribing medication for her, but at the same time, they're asking me to update her vaccines. And then they're giving me prescription dog food, you know, and all of these different things. And in my mind, I just said something like doesn't seem right. Like, here this dog is like immune compromised, they're sick, but yet I'm supposed to be staying up to date on their like vaccines, so I'm injecting more things into their body to like the more stuff their body has to like fight and attack. And I am giving them this dog food that doesn't seem like it's actually really good dog food, and those sorts of things. So that's kind of how it all began for me. As I started, I'm a researcher naturally. I research everything. And so I started researching like easier and better ways to take better care of my animals and to see if I could help them get better. Well, even though I was doing all of these like natural remedies or like other things that would be like natural, I was still doing all the veterinarian things. And so I don't think any of my stuff, whether my stuff would have worked or not, I don't think it was working because, the I was still doing all the other junk. But none, like moving on is I just realized that something in my gut, again, like that's where we came up with the gut of the mother, was not right. And that's how I really started researching and knowing stuff. So going forward and then having my first child and like knowing that I needed to like take the best possible care of her that I could, and Ashley like encouraged me to like read some books and like really do my research on all the different things that that they tell you to do when you first have a baby. And so I went into my daughter's first 2-month-old appointment, and they prescribed, or, they suggested her to have 5 vaccines. And when we did that, the nurse walked in and then the doctor, and I said, is this okay? Like, did you do this for your kid? And the nurse was like, oh yeah, I did this for my kid. And then I asked the same question to the doctor, and the doctor's like, oh yeah, they're totally fine. Your kids will be fine. And again, something in my gut was like, this just doesn't seem right. And I was like, and thinking again about my dogs being like 50 pounds each and all the junk I gave them. And then thinking my daughter was 5 pounds, 10 ounces. And she probably actually weighed, well, if it was 2 months, she was probably just over, 6 pounds.
Yeah,
So
she was so tiny.
she was so tiny.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wouldn't do this to my dogs. Like, I wouldn't
Wow.
after knowing what I knew about my animals, I was like, I wouldn't give my dogs 5 vaccines at once. But I, questioning my own self and thinking,
Yeah.
well, they know best. They're the doctor. I don't know best. I'm the mom. And okay, I'm going to trust it. Like, this is what everybody does.
Yeah.
And I walked out of that appointment and was like, and I went home and I did Tylenol. So I'm just trying to tell moms, once you know better, you do better. So don't go beat yourself up about something you've done in the past. And I remember bathing my daughter to just calm her down that night and stuff. And she had the 2 little Band-Aids on her legs and giving her Tylenol and thinking back like, oh, I wish I could take all of that back. Just knowing that I wouldn't do the same thing again in the same way. And that's not saying that we're like anti-vax, or it's what's best for you and your family, and knowing your genetic makeup, or the different things in your lineage is really important. And also just doing your research, because again, I didn't start out at the I'm never doing that again stage. I started at that I'm going to trust my doctor and do what my doctor says, and then walking out of that appointment saying that doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah. So incredible. I think like there's so much to take from that. I think that it's so real that like we all have a starting point and it's also different. And like you said, like we're not saying there's a one size fits all, but there is that like intuition, right? And we also know that's the Holy Spirit that just gives us, and sometimes we don't know what that thing is. Like it's inexplainable. You just know something's off and it just feels like you're, like, but then you think like, I'm crazy, I'm overanalyzing, I'm a mom, like, and that's what they tell you too, like, right? Like you trust the expert, trust the person, but you just knew in your gut. But what's interesting is sometimes it takes us doing the wrong thing to know the right thing. And I feel like that's a common part of being a human. So it's like we think in motherhood, like we're just expected to have it all figured out and there's not supposed to be any room for error. And that's just impossible. And it sets these standards for like, it sucks the joy out of parenting. And it also sucks the being able to tune in, because if you're in guilt and you're in shame, it's really hard to even tune into that because you don't trust yourself. You like are like, oh, I made a bad mistake, so I don't trust myself. So even more so, I'm gonna even look outside of me and what God is saying to me and for my family. When in reality, we use those things as lessons and we bring them in and we apply them to the future. And I know for me, like that is a huge piece of my story, which I'll tell it another time. But I think it's like that, ignoring that gut intuition initially. Then once you have it the next time, you're like, I know what that feeling felt like. And I know that that wasn't right. And maybe I don't even know why. But then you took that and you were able to then like go and do your research and know more about your genetic makeup and know like, and I think you are honest in saying like you didn't go back and do that exact same thing the next time, right?
Yes.
So you knew like, okay, like that didn't feel right. And then you took that feeling, but then you actually like went with that and trusted that and like, okay, why do I feel this way? And so then you dug into the research and the knowledge, and then you felt like, And then
And
how
it
did
changed my
you,
path.
yeah, and it led you down this path, right? And then it led you, I feel like watching you, because I was your friend that was like gently, I want to say gently encouraging you to research and gently encouraging you, like we can do things with like and loving people where they're at, right? It's like I think sometimes we think with motherhood too, there's like one camp for this and one camp for this, and if you're not here, then you're not allowed at the table, and we want to create space, ladies that
Yes,
are listening, mamas, like we want you to feel like you have space at the table, whether you are like, on a schedule and you're doing, whatever you're doing with your family. Like when you feel conviction and you feel like that's the right thing, that's the right thing, and it can look different than what we believe is right. And we're going to share experiences too that we've done completely different things because they were the right things for our babies. And that's one thing I love about this space is that it's not just like a strictly like, okay, this is only like a gluten-free, or this is only like we're all anti-vax, or, like just creating space for different types of mothers, or only, 100%, you know, co-sleeping versus sleep training or whatever. Like there's just so many camps, and in motherhood, we really like do like take our like stay in one place, and then it's like the other moms, it's like, oh, you don't sleep train, okay, or oh, you don't co-sleep or whatever. So just really wanting it to be more cohesive and being able to create more community around being moms,
for for
and what's right
sure.
for your family. But
And I would like to say that yes, there's a seat at the table for everyone, but we do go against the grain here.
yeah,
Like this
yeah,
is not this is a get out of your comfort zone, relearn
yes,
things that we thought we knew, um, do more research, really like dig in your heels. And again, it could look different along your path. It could be different sections of your journey because, like
yeah,
Ashley and I, before we had children, before like any of this, over 10 years ago, we were like using healthier makeup, non-toxic makeup. We knew like our like personal care products needed to be better than they were. And
yeah,
that was something we were doing, but yet maybe her and I weren't focusing as high like much on food at that time. And then we had children, and then that opened up a whole new thing. So like your journey can be different along different paths. Like maybe right now you're just getting rid of like the candles and the Glade plugins in your house,
yeah,
and you're like, I can't do this, the smell, whatever. Maybe you're cleaning out your pantry. Like that started a long time ago in college too. Like knowing that my mom was, like we had junk in our pantry, and I was in college and I came home and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, getting all this junk out of our pantry because it's not good for us. But I didn't know like back then about seed oils. I just knew that the we shouldn't have these kinds of foods and we shouldn't be eating these and we should be eating more whole foods. But I didn't know about seed oils back then. So like you learn different things along your path and journey.
yeah. I love that. You
And that's
go,
okay.
you, yeah. You learn as you're I love that you said like you learn while you're on your journey, and like truly that's like taking, when you think of a journey, like you're taking steps forward, right? So it's
Yeah.
like little by little by little, and everyone has a starting point. So I love that. And where we started isn't where we are now, and where we're going to be, maybe even 5 years from now. So
Correct.
it's a journey. And I think that's one thing with health that we hear sometimes is that it's about arriving. And really, in reality, we don't arrive. We continue to change, and our bodies continue to change, and our souls, the needs of our souls continue to change. So I think it's just like making it a journey and making it an enjoyable journey, like it doesn't have to be, health isn't, a one size fits all at all. And we're not here to be pushing, one diet or one way of doing things. In fact, we don't want you to diet, but we want you to focus on nourishment. But I think it's just, knowing those like steps, like little by little by little. And that's like, what we want to take you on that journey with us. So,
Yeah, and this is meant to be a community of moms, like-minded mothers who want better for their families, want
yeah,
better for themselves, and we are sharing recipes and we're sharing products and a more intimate community where
Yes.
moms feel like they can go ask questions like, hey, my kid has this rash on their, leg. Has any other mom seen this? Little things like that, that you just feel like you can get in our community and ask questions, and get answers, or see how other moms have done things, or, what baby bottle worked best when your kid had a tongue tie,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yes.
Just a community of like-minded moms that can ask questions and get support and answers, as the best that we possibly can do, and hopefully that other moms are able to share their stories and their favorite things.
I love it. It's so
Yeah.
good. Well, we can't wait to take you guys along this journey. We'll have another talk. We're going to be having mini conversations. We're going to be bringing in a lot of other moms as well. Like we said, this is not just meant to be about us. This is meant to be about you guys. And we want you to hear lots of different stories as well of moms who have just maybe walked a little bit further than you, where we can glean knowledge and we can glean inspiration and so much from each other's stories without comparing, because I know that's a big thing. Comparison can really steal our confidence and our joy in motherhood, and we don't want to do that with you guys. So we want you to be able to really lean in and learn from each other and link arms together, because this is truly a movement. And with what we're seeing with RFK, it's such an exciting time, and it's so needed right now more than ever, because there's never been, I mean, the disease rate for our nation is quite astounding. So
Yes.
anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited, and I hope other moms are excited to go on this journey with us.
Yes. Amazing.
Okay.